viewers, welcome back to the show. This is where we have deep, meaningful conversations, sometimes uncomfortable conversations. And of course, today's topic is one of those, uncomfortable conversations to have. We're talking about surviving the January financial dryness or droughts, and we are finding a way to get out of debt. For those of you who have, borrowed money to do wedding, borrowed money for Christmas, borrowed money from those loan apps and say you're going to pay interest. We're going to find out, and the thing keeps going on and on and on like that, like a chain. And you're just wondering, how do I, sort this out? How can I live without actually borrowing? Is it possible for someone to actually be without borrowing money? Is it possible? I don't know. I've moved through. Is it? I don't know. So if you have thoughts, opinions, and questions, feel free to join the conversation. Call in on 0705 993 6937 or 0705 993 7937. Has this January been for you so far? Have you been coping with the financial dryness? Everybody goes everywhere red, everywhere dry. Even though you know even red, some people go they say red. But you red that be no red. Now waiting I want know now waiting you go do for me. Make you call in, on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. Talk to me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I have a special guest with me in the studio. Somebody who's an expert at this. She's a debt survivor and a zero debt advocate. She has extensive experience in providing strategic financial advisory, business development, sales strategy, and structured finance services in the SME sector. She's the author of Zero Balance. Hell, I don't want zero balance. I don't want that name is too catchy. I don't want zero balance in my life right now, especially in this channel. And some of you have zero balance right now. Don't lie to yourself. You are wishing that Deborah Waters, Deep Waters will do another 10K this January, but everywhere red, my brother. Everywhere red. Miss Eva, don't get 10K giveaway to do. So yeah, she's the author of Zero Balance, a book that chronicles her struggle with debt and how she was able to find financial balance. And she's passionate about helping people live free from bese and overcome the stigma associated with debt and also to build wealth. I'm talking about Titi Lokwe Ibilola, who is the convener of the Zero Debt Network, a community for people going through difficult journey of debt. As I'm talking about this debt, I know a few people that I need to send this book to, literally, to be aware of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me the one, the only, Zero Debt Advocate, Titi Lokwe Ibiloba. Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much,
smiling. Oh, if you go on her page, you just see her like this, like this. I'm like, this woman has no worries, no financial problems.
I wish.
Smiling like this.
I wish.
You wish. How
I
now?
wish.
You don't have any financial problem.
Do you know which country we're in?
Which country is that? Yeah, I'm in Pakistan right now, Sha.
Oh, okay. It can only be. I'm in Lagos, Nigeria.
Ew.
Nowhere is smiling.
I know.
Nowhere is smiling.
But is it that bad though? Is it?
Well, if you ask 10 people how was 2023 for them, I'm not sure 8 of them will say it was great. It's not as if good things didn't happen. Good things happened. But 2023 was hard. The economy constricted to the point that to survive on a daily basis was a struggle for almost everyone. So, I don't know.
You have to know, because if me I don't know, my audience don't know, and you now say you don't know, we are now in trouble like that. So what are your thoughts about January? I mean, 2023 is over. We're now in the first month of 2024, and a lot of people say January is usually one of the longest months, one of the most difficult months. A lot of people have overspent. A lot of money has gone into things and all that. First of all, is it really true? Is it that, we know that January is always coming. So is it that we don't plan for January, or what happens then? Why do we always struggle, for financially in January?
So for most people, you get paid early in December because it's Christmas. And then Christmas, end of the year comes with a lot of expenses. Oh, you have to do stuff for your children. You have to buy new stuff. It's Christmas. Even for those who are not Christians, they want to buy new stuff during Christmas. It's the holidays. Everyone is on a vacation. So, you'll spend more. And then you get paid early. So imagine you get paid on the 15th of December. That has added 15 days to January, because everybody says January is 50 days. It's not a 30-day month. It's a 50-day month typically. So if you've spent everything in December, then January is going to drag for you. And then January comes, it comes with more expenses.
Really?
If you have children, you're going to need to pay school fees at the beginning of January. That is an expense. That is a huge expense that most people haven't planned for. And then I say that we're a product of our choices. The choices you make in December will determine what your January will be like.
Very deep. So does that mean that we should not have dirty December, or what?
Have dirty December, but dirty a little bit, not too muddy. Don't go deep in the dirt.
But I feel, for some reason, I just feel like this January seems to be just a little much more drier than it usually is, especially financially. Do you agree?
So, like I said, in Nigeria, the economy is shrinking. There's so much going on. I can't even go into it. Inflation is at, I think, 28.2. That's high. And what does that mean? It just means that purchasing power will be lower because everything has gone up. There's nothing that you priced in December. Let me even go back as far back as October. There's nothing that is the same price as it was in October. Everything has gone up. So there's little funds in the economy.
Interesting. This conversation is literally it's draining me. I don't even know the next question to ask at this point. But yeah, now we've settled that, okay, January seems to be 50 days, according to your analysis. I know, and people do a lot of struggling and all. And because of this, some people have resorted to, borrowing. Sometimes you even borrow from your friends that, you cannot return. You even be smiling with them. You'll be seeing them every time, but you cannot return money to them. So let's talk about, debt and why. Maybe for some reason, I'm not even trying to be like this thing. I don't know why. I just have a way of managing my finances that it doesn't lead to debt. But now I feel like many people can't do that. Or is it that they make less? What leads to debt on itself? Because I imagine that people know what they are doing. They plan for themselves sometimes. They know how much they are receiving now. And
so they should live within their means.
Something like that. Like some things they are just given. So why is it that we still have, debt issues?
So ordinarily, yes, everyone should live within their means.
Okay.
But we're a product of the knowledge that we have. If you don't have the knowledge of how to manage your money will mess you up. And I can say clearly that the choices you make with your money will determine the quality of your life. If you make the wrong choices with your money, you're going to struggle for a long period of your life. If you make the right choices, you're in good standing, which is what you're telling me now, that you're able to plan. This, you didn't learn it from anybody. I think the experiences you had growing up probably just set you on that path. And then you're able to manage your own expectations of yourself. You see, you said something about, I know how much I earn. And so I plan with what I earn. But a lot of people are so, carried away by everything they see on social media. They see all the nice bags, they see all the nice clothes, they see the nice hair, and they want to have that immediately. The ability to not delay your gratification and say, okay, I like this, it's nice, I want to have it, but you mustn't have it right now. I can say, I can plan towards it, which is what you're doing. I like this, I want to buy it, so I save up. But a lot of people say, I like this, I want it, and I have it right now. Having it right now can lead you into debt.
Interesting. Now, speaking from your own personal experience, at what point did you discover that Sister Titi, this you are not doing well financially. You are a debtor. Why? When did it become a problem? Because I feel like a lot of people do a lot of borrowing and they find a way to return it. I think it's like it's not even a big deal. You know, when does borrowing become a big deal?
Okay, so from my personal experience, one of the things that got me in debt was investing. I invested in something that I shouldn't have invested in. This was 2008.
And you invested a lot of money.
And
Billions.
I took loans to add to the investment because the returns looked good. And, you know, a lot of people fall into these Ponzi schemes. It sounds good to them, you know, it's quick money. You know, it sounds like you put money in and, you know, the returns will come out and it will be good. And I got carried away. I invested my money. I borrowed money to invest.
Wow.
And I took money from my dad's retirement gratuity that he was paid.
Summing up to
and I put that money into investments.
Summing up to how much?
And
1 billion.
we lost everything.
No way.
So that put me, we lost everything. In fact, this one was bad. If I can't even mention the name on air, but anyone who knows what happened in 2008, 2009 with a major Ponzi scheme, a lot of us lost money. The government clamped down on it and everybody just, you know, reclined into themselves and went to lick their wounds like a beaten dog. And that was what happened to me. And that was my very first experience with debt. And it was a lot of money.
Oh my.
I was almost disowned.
Oh my. So from the banks that you borrowed it, you know, the money for, how were you able to sort them out? So was it, what what happened?
Then you start struggling.
Hey.
You start struggling, and the unfortunate thing about that was we were getting returns every month, but because, you know, the returns were coming like clockwork, we just got carried away, and we're spending everything. We'll travel, we'll buy stuff, you know, because the money was looking like free money until
was it after
the well dried up. This was the investment, when the investment was going on. So they would say, oh, you're dropping, there's a return that you get every month.
Oh, so the thing was coming in.
That return was coming every month. But we're not even investing the return because it looked like this is free money that's going to continue going for a lifetime.
Oh my.
Until one day it ended and the story changed.
I feel like a lot of Nigerians can relate with this because a lot of us have actually fallen into the Ponzi scheme thing, no matter how small, you know, or big and all. But I feel like if a Ponzi scheme comes up again this year, there are some people that will still fall for it. Why do people keep falling for it?
It sounds good. It sounds good. It's a nice story. It's, you know, it's very convincing. They will show you what they can show you and you believe it. And something that they said happens in every recession is that there are always Ponzi schemes. They use those Ponzi schemes to mop up money from the economy, and people fall victim every time.
Wow.
There's no Ponzi scheme where at the end of the day, either the people who started the Ponzi scheme do not make away with billions and billions of whatever currency it is that they've been invested in, or the government just finally clamps down on them and everyone loses, and at the end of the day it runs into millions and billions.
Wow, that's really, really crazy. This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. We have to go on a quick break right now. When we get back, more conversations on surviving the January drought. Don't go anywhere.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hola.
Yeah. You are talking about borrowing money or something like that.
Yes, please.
Let me tell you, and how the person that you have already talked about borrowing money. It's not that you will borrow money to do party. You borrow money, you will not be inviting unexpected visitor. You now come to your house. The money that you borrow to do something. Like all this January now, some people will go. They will go to their village. They will go and spend money. They will spend their state and capital Am I communicating?
Yes.
Eh? Like your word that you normally told me that we should not be looking, we should not be feeling like the way we are looking. Happy? Some people will say, I bet if I borrow this one, let me just, should not be something that you are passing through. You should not be looking like that now. Happy?
Yes,
In the
now
money
don't
that
look
you
like what you
borrow,
have been through.
that's what you want to say. Let me tell you, some people, they do not know that they borrowed money or something like that. They will spend everything. That is the money that you borrow that you want to return back. You have to make profit with it and return it. You know, some all these financial this thing, microfinance, something that they normally pursue people up and down because they borrow money. They will lock some people inside toilets. See here, they know that now that time some people these expensive clothes I want to buy that I must buy this thing. Yeah, secure this I must do. That is it. Borrowing money is good for you to believe well when you know how to use that money. That's it. Not that you just borrow money for party or something like that. That's it.
Interesting, Olawale. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate. Is borrowing money is borrowing money actually good? Is borrowing good in itself, or when is it okay to borrow? When can you justify that borrowing?
So, like Olawale rightly said, if you borrow money for business, you borrow money for something that's going to yield a return, it's not a bad thing. When you borrow money to eat, that's where there's a problem because the money that you have borrowed to eat, you really cannot repay it. You're just spending you're spending your tomorrow today. That's what it is. But if you're borrowing money to invest in something that you're sure will give you a return,
I was going to say,
don't borrow for a business that
now.
you have not even started yet, or a business that you think because you have seen other people doing it and the business looks to be doing well, then you go and borrow money to do that business. No, you test the waters with your own money first. When you see that, yes, I'm returning a yield on my money, then you can say, okay, to take this to the next level, let me borrow money and use it and grow this business. And when you borrow money, use it for exactly what you said you were going to use it to do, and ensure that as you're getting your returns, you're making your repayments. Borrowing is not totally bad. In fact, we need other people's money if we want to go really far and grow really well, even in business. You really need other people's money. But first of all, be a good manager of your own money before you go ahead and borrow other people's money.
Interesting. Titi Lokpa Ibilola in the house, helping us dive deeper on the topic. Hello. 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 All right, do us a call back on 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. You have a borrowing problem. Are you a borrower? Feel free. And you have questions and thoughts. You don't know how to get out of debt. You don't know how to get out of your busy. Call in. Ask questions now. We have a zero debt advocate in the house helping us answer all our questions. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for calling.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Buchi.
Buchi, good to have you on the show again.
Yeah, this how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to your guest.
Good evening.
Now, Deborah, as for me, I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. As for me, I don't like.
Okay, you don't like borrowing?
Yeah, I don't like going into debt. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know me personally, I don't like all this debt stuff because normally I don't like issues whereby you are owing somebody and the person will be calling you. Maybe at the point you know that you don't have any avenue, any means of paying back. Maybe you want to borrow, you know that you don't have any means of paying back. Maybe only the money is your figure, you just see those calls. And your heart just keeps beating. Yeah, I don't like whereby I'll begin to have issues like thinking and anything that's going to give me stress, I normally avoid it. If I know that I don't have any capacity of paying back, I don't even bother going into borrowing. That's how I've been living my life right from the onset. Okay. Because I don't like that issue of running from pillar to post because you are owing somebody or sometimes just hear a knock on the door, you start hiding at the back of the television.
telling people that I'm not. I don't like this kind of life. And secondly, the economy, inflation is there. Inflation drives people into some of these things. Maybe you plan for something, and before you know, you get to the market, the price of product has suddenly gone up. When we talk about the January and December, the December and January thing, not like people don't do Christmas and go broke in January. It's just that I told you before, systematically, you are beginning to have failed governments that's plunging the people into this type of great misery that we find ourselves into. Before, you celebrate Christmas and you still stay through January. You still have something in your pocket, but now, when you finally do some little spending for the Christmas and New Year, at the end of the day, you just find nothing with you. Sometimes I won't even blame the people that are doing it, especially because you must find a way to make your family be happy during the Christmas time. But it's just that because you have a bad system that is continually failing. Okay, look at what you have started, what we just started with the year with. Imagine the banker that just committed suicide. All these things, a couple of all these things push people into this depression. Every year, I've said it before. I told you before when you came up with the resolution thing. I tell you, sometimes the failure of you not achieving something that we set out for ourselves, not because of it's our own fault. It's because we have elected people who are like failures into the system, and they keep making our life. We won't exonerate the government from what we are going through today. We can never exonerate the government from this, because whatever wrong decision they made have a way of trickling down to the masses, and they are it affects us. So we shouldn't make excuses for them. That's my own.
Interesting, Uchi. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate. Oh, okay. Yeah. Uchi always has a way of reminding us that we're in Nigeria, literally. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I hear what they have all said and the factors they've listed, as regarding borrowing. And I've also heard what you said about, okay, it's okay to borrow. But in a situation where you are living from hand to mouth, for example, you have so many fees, inflation are setting, how can we start to manage the little that we have? Because sometimes you say, if we are borrowing money to eat now is a problem, but we have to eat to survive. We have to eat to survive. So I hear, okay, the borrowing for party, that one can be off, but there's some packaging that if you borrow for once in a while, you go enter, you go just borrow money, package, borrow wig, borrow this thing, just carry me kind of packages. Say, okay, you bad the bad. If I show up big, especially in this part of the world, we do that a lot. If I show up big, they'll perceive me as big, and big things will come to me,
I don't know about that. I don't know about big things coming to you if you package big, but lifestyle choices. We have to learn how to make lifestyle choices. And what do I mean by lifestyle choices? You know what you earn. You have to be able to ensure that you're not living hand to mouth. You're not spending everything that you earn every month on expenses and have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. Because what's the point? What's the point of working? If you work so hard, so long, and at the end of the day, you have nothing set aside. An emergency happens and you have nothing, no savings at all. And then you're at the mercy of whatever emergency happens to you. You have to be able to do it. You have to find a way. The only way it can be done is by planning. I said it at the beginning when I came on, was that we're a product of the choices that we make. If you make the wrong choices, you will have a difficult time surviving with your income. You must plan with the income that you have. It is your reality. I said something the other day on my Instagram page, and I was telling people, I said, if you constantly are not able to meet the expenses that you have with the income that you earn, it's a sign that you need another income. It is just that plain and simple. That income may not come from paid employment. It may come from some other skill that you learn that you can use to earn money on the side. Because there's no point working 9 to 5 building someone else's dream and then sleeping 9 to 5, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning and sleeping it away. Invest some of that time into building something for yourself so that you can earn something on the side. No one really makes it big with one income and in paid employment. So you need to look for other means of making money, especially in Nigeria today. How much really can your employer pay you? The big employers, the big people, the big companies, they're packing up and leaving. So you have to find something that works for you. Find something for yourself that you're able to make money on the side to augment what you're earning as salary.
This is Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. We're talking about surviving the January drought. Not even surviving January, surviving 2024 drought, because this doesn't even look like it's getting any better. We're also talking about how to, overcome and deal with debt, basically. So if you have questions and thoughts, we have a debt survivor here, somebody who has been there, done that, somebody who is a zero debt advocate. So if you have questions and thoughts and comments, please feel free to call in 0705-993-6937 or 0705-993-7937. What are the common money mistakes that people make? Because we have a few minutes to go.
One of the most common is living above your means. You know what your salary is, but you just don't want to cut your coat according to the material that you have. You want to roll with the big boys, and you end up putting yourself in trouble. Another one is not having a financial plan. Everyone should have a plan. Before your money comes, before salary day, you should know where your money is going to go. Because if you don't know where your money is going to go, then your money is just going to go anywhere. And at the end of the day, you will have nothing left by the time your salary comes. So you must plan. You must plan your money, no matter how small it is. Even if you're earning 70,000 naira, know what you're going to use that 70,000 naira to do. Make sure of that 70,000 naira, at least 10% of it is going into a savings account that you can keep for emergency. Another thing that we do is taking on more than we can chew. You're the firstborn in your family, or you're the only one in your family who has a paid job, and so then you think you are now the messiah. Everyone comes to you with all of their problems and issues, and you just feel obligated to solve all those problems. You will run yourself into the ground at the end of the day, because you will have nothing left for yourself and your own new nuclear family. You will be taking on other people's issues.
Some people don't know how to say no now. How do they, especially when some people are begging, please. How do you say no? How do you create that boundary?
Put your money in a savings. Put your money in a fixed savings that you cannot touch. Also, set a limit for giving. You're not the messiah. Set a limit. This month, I have 20,000 naira to give. Anyone who comes to me, I will give out of that 20,000. Once that 20,000 is finished, every other need will wait till the next month. Because a need arises does not mean that it needs to be met immediately. If a need comes, you don't have to rush quickly to go and borrow. First of all, think about this need. Is this need critical? Must I do this right now? Can it wait 3 months? Can I save up towards it? Can I wait until I can afford it? Can I find something else that is cheaper to do? Do I want to just trust God to provide for me for this need? Or then can I take a loan to meet the need? So, like I said, taking loans is not all bad. But taking loans when you do not have the capacity to repay is where the problem will be. And that's what will land you in debt at the end of the day. So when a need arises, look at it critically. Must I do it? Can I save up? Can I wait? Can I look for a substitute? Will I trust God, or must I take a loan? If you must take a loan, I won't say don't take a loan. But be sure that you can repay. Because they say, will a builder go to build a house without counting the cost? You must count the cost, because if you do not count the cost, you will get to a point where people will look at you and mock you, which is what is happening with a lot of these loan apps. People are borrowing and they're broadcasting messages, sending all sorts of messages out to people, and people end up mocking you because you did not count the cost before you went and borrowed that money.
Interesting. Now that we've understood what you're saying and the perspective, and as you set us on perspective, some of us moving on in February, March, we might have a few, naira that we want to, multiply, because at the end of the day, you said we should have a side income, something that would, how do we spot the fake investments, people? How can we identify them? What are the signs? Are there any signs?
Well, yes, there are a few signs. So if it sounds too good to be true, then it's obviously too good to be true.
For real?
Yes, if it sounds too good to be true. If someone comes to you and tells you, oh, Deborah, give me 100,000 naira, I'll put it in this investment for you, and in 2 months, I'll give you 500,000 naira. Ask yourself, in this Nigeria that we are, what can you invest 100,000 naira that can yield times 4 of itself in 2 months? And remember, the person who is promising you that yield is also supposed to make some money for himself, because he's not a charitable organization. He wants to make money off the money that you're giving him to invest. So if he's able to give you times 4 of the money that you invested, then there's a problem somewhere. So if it sounds too good to be true, it is. 2, do not put all of your money that you have for investing into one basket. They say don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if someone says this investment, bring 100,000 naira and you make 500,000 naira, maybe you have 1 million. You can afford to play with 100,000 and watch and see. If you lose 100,000 and you have 1 million, it won't pay you too much. But if you have only 200,000 naira and you give the person the whole 200,000 naira and you lose the money, it's a problem. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. The third thing I'll say for investing is, if I cannot explain the investment to a 5-year-old child and he understands it, then I'm not doing it.
Ha. Are you serious? So it shouldn't be complicated.
It should not be complicated. It shouldn't.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you have it there from our zero debt advocate, Titi Lokwe Ibilola. And she also has a book, called The Zero Balance. Haha. I'm sure you don't want zero balance this year, so I think you should get the book and read. She'll talk about it in a bit. Now, for somebody who's listening to this and is in debt already, it's already Otijegbesi. This one is the gone case. He's gone. It's not we can manage it. Otilo is already his gone case. And he say, okay, in this 2024, I must find a way to sort out my debts. But I don't know how to go about it. I'm devastated. I'm becoming depressed. I'm not okay. And I don't know even how to plan. You keep saying financial planning, plan. I don't even know how to plan how to solve this. I have the life pushing me left, right, and center. What can I do?
So, because debt is associated with so much stigma here in this part of the world, in fact, not just debt, money. If you have money, you're in a class. If you don't have money, it's a problem. Then you're now in debt. So that's even worse. Most people who are going through debt don't want anybody to know that they're going through debt. But it's really not a big deal, which is why I started what I do right now on my platforms. Is really not so much of a problem. It's just debt. It doesn't define your life. Come out, open up. You'll find that most people who are in debt, their family don't even know, because they're just hiding. And anything that you hide will explode one day. So what I tell people who come to me is the first thing you need to do is get a sheet of paper and write out how much you owe. A lot of people don't know that. They just know they're in debt. They don't know who they owe. They don't know how much they owe. They just know, oh, I owe Deborah 100,000. I owe Titi 300,000. And in their mind, they're trying not to put that figure together because that figure will scare them. I say, face it. Write out how much you owe. Know how much it is. Once you have done that, open up to the people closest to you. Your friends, your family. Let them know that this is where I am. This is the problem that I'm in.
You're being completely vulnerable.
Yes. And you know that at least 3 times out of 10 times, just by opening up to your family and friends, people have found help. Someone has said, oh, how much is it? Total debt, 1 million. Okay, I'll borrow you. Pay me back when you can. And that just takes care of that problem. So that secrecy with the debt is a problem. When you have identified how much you owe, when you have opened up to your family and friends, the next thing to do is to reach out to the people that you owe. Let them know that I'm not a criminal. I'm not running away. I'm not hiding. I want to pay you. I just cannot pay you because of this, and this. I will pay you back. Can we sit down? Can I make a plan? Can I tell you how I'm going to pay you? And let them know that you're not the only person that I'm owing. I wish it was only you. Unfortunately, it's not. So I'm owing 5 people.
It's easier said than done. If you go and say this to someone,
you cannot. Owing is not a crime.
Really?
Yes, it's a civil matter. You cannot lock me up because I'm owing you money.
But that does not still give you the effort to now start owing people money up and down the place.
You must just address it. Because if I cannot find you, if you're not communicating with me, and you have maybe lied and you have told me I'm going to pay you on so day, or you have given me a check and I present your check, I can, get you locked up because you have presented it. You have given me a check and I presented it, and the check has come back as a dot check. So there are checks. There are ways that people can get their money back. But it's not a crime to owe. Just face it head on. People owe. It's not a life-threatening issue. It's not something that should cause you to go and kill yourself, because really your life is worth more than 1 million naira debt that you're owing. Your life is worth much more than even 20 million naira in debt. So don't kill yourself because you're owing anyone.
Interesting. And that was from Titilope Biloba. Zero Balance, a compelling true life story on hitting rock bottom and finding your balance. And I think balance is something we all want to find in this year. How can people find you on social media?
My name is Titilope Bilola on social media.
Yeah.
So you can find me Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. Yeah.
Everywhere. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you for calling and for being a part of the show. I hope you have a fantastic 2024, free of debt, free of any money issues, and just for you to have a financial bliss, basically. But you have to do the work. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be live again on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Prompt for another amazing show for you right here on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. From myself and Titilope Bilola. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.